The main reason why I'm so excited in late spring when the wild leeks, also called ramps, are ready to be harvested is that it is an opportunity to experience the awe and wonder of the reawakening of wild plant life brought to life by the warm spring sunshine. Here in the mountains of Vermont, we can get snowstorms as late as Mother's Day. These are the furry fiddleheads, the kinds that you do not eat. This is a trout lily, and it grows in the same places as the wild leeks at the same time of year, but it's you can tell the difference because it has a kind of splotchy or spotted leaves. And this is a morel mushroom. It's very good to eat. It takes 6 or 7 years for a leek to become this big. They grow very slowly because they only get to have their sunlight for a couple months out of the year, and they're sitting dormant in the ground most of the time. In a couple of weeks, when the leaves come out on the trees and the forest floor becomes shaded, those leaves will turn yellow and wither and fall off. A scape will grow up out of the center, and it'll grow to about 6 or 7 inches tall. It'll have a little crown of flowers on it, which will produce seeds which will fall down in the fall and be covered by the leaves, and they will sprout next springtime, producing just a tiny little plant that looks like a blade of grass. Some of the larger ramps are now starting to grow scapes. This will grow into the flower stalk in the middle. After 2 or 3 years of growing, it's become about 5 inches long. Looks like a big blade of grass. These are wild leeks or ramps. This is false hellebore. Can you tell the difference? If you said yes, that's good. Apparently, many people can't tell the difference. A recent newspaper article said that over 22 people in Vermont recently got ill eating false hellebore, thinking that it was indeed wild leeks or ramps. So harvesting, I just reach down just above the ground, pinch the stems, bend them and pull them a little bit, and they snap right off cleanly. And when my right hand gets a handful, I transfer it over to my left hand and pick some more. When my left hand gets filled, I add it to the rest in the bag here. These are forget-me-nots. These are trout lilies. This is called witch hobble or viburnum. This is a black bear who was also foraging in the forest. I've returned from the forest with a big load of leek greens, and now I'm going to demonstrate how I saute them. First, I take some olive oil and I put about a 1/16 inch deep of olive oil in the bottom, basically enough to just kind of cover the bottom. And then I like to add a little bit of Bragg's liquid aminos, which adds a lot of flavor. It's kind of a soy sauce without the salt, but it does have some sodium. A couple squirts of that. And then I start cutting the leek greens into ribbons. Best not to have a super sharp knife here. It doesn't require a super sharp knife to cut them, but you can cut yourself if you're not careful. Now I have my stew pot most of the way full with ribbons, and I have some more over here that are all ready to go, which I'm going to add once it's cooked down a lot. This will cook down quite a lot. And I start the fire on about half medium heat there. Let it set for for about 3 minutes here. They've been cooking for about 3.5 minutes. Then I start trying to bring the cooked greens up from the bottom and push the uncooked greens down to the bottom. Let it set for a few more minutes. They've been cooking for another 2 minutes. Turn it over, bring it up from the bottom, push the uncooked greens down to the bottom. Let it set for a few more cook for a few more minutes. I've cooked it for another 2 minutes. You can see now they have reduced in volume quite a bit. You see all the dark green leaves that have been cooked down from the bottom. Turn them over, mix them all up, pat them down a little bit, push them onto the bottom, let them cook. Now that they've cooked down considerably, I'm going to add a lot of more uncooked ribbons. And mix the uncooked ribbons up with the cooked ones. As you can see, they're all thoroughly cooked now. I'm going to turn off the heat. They're really good to use just like this. You can put them over rice and beans or over pasta. I do like to take another step. I puree them a bit with this immersion blender. Couple minutes with the immersion blender and it's turned into like a thick sauce. Now I'm going to put it in a plastic food container for freezing. It's good to package it very hot. That way it'll be all sterile and it'll keep good in the refrigerator for a long time if you want to use it directly. You don't want to fill it quite completely up because it expands when it freezes and it'll push the top off. After it is cooled down thoroughly, I add it to my collection in the freezer. My goal is to fill my freezer with the green goodness of spring. And also be frozen in Ziploc bags and for larger portions. It's May 30th, Bolton, Vermont. The canopy is really closing in. Very little sunshine on the forest floor. And the leeks are in rapid decline. The leaves are all turning yellow. The scapes are getting ready to bloom. And the leaves are all starting to compost down into the forest floor. The other reason why I'm so excited to go into the forest and pick hundreds of pounds of leek greens is because of the incredible health benefits of garlic, onions, and leeks.